Hi, I'm John Tanner with BraveEd. If you're watching this, it's because you're in a school or district that has taken up the mantle to solve the accountability problem that almost every one of us as educators has realized for a long time exists. We inherited a system that we all know pretty well doesn't work, or at least it doesn't help us in meeting the goals that we have for students or the schools that we work in. Accountability is a fascinating topic in a lot of ways. It can feel a little scary and overwhelming, and yet there's a positive side to the word too that all of us would suggest is very much part of our jobs as leaders and educators. So let me just take a few minutes to make it clear what the difference is between a healthy, vibrant accountability system in effective organizations and what we have as inherited wisdom, so that you get a sense of why it is your school or district is considering this work and why it's important, and what the effect will be on you as a teacher. The first thing I'll point out just quickly is that we have a very clear sense through research of what accountability looks like in healthy organizations. I'll give you just three examples for the sake of time. The first, and probably the most important to teachers who work hard every day with kids and have a great understanding of what they need, is that a good accountability system allows for the organization to tell its story in truthful language that those stakeholders will understand. The second big thing that it does is it allows those stakeholders to trust the organization and even cheer for it over time, to root for its success and to root for it to be healthy and vibrant and strong. And a third thing that it does is it allows and enables and even encourages the organization to focus on what it's trying to accomplish, as opposed to focus on what might be easy to measure. Now, there are a lot of other things that accountability in healthy organizations look like, but we'll just stick with those three for now: that it tells a truthful story, that it creates a partnership between the stakeholders and the organization based on trust, and that it allows the organization to focus on what it's trying to accomplish. The accountability systems that we've inherited for a whole bunch of different reasons don't work that way at all. In essence, they require some percentage of students to pass a test, or some percentage of students to see their scores on tests rise, or some percentage of students to graduate or attend school. That's the same kind of an accountability that we would use to prevent an industrial polluter from emitting harmful substances into the atmosphere. We would say to them, the air you emit from your factory needs to be some percentage pure, or you're going to be in a lot of trouble. It's the same exact thing as if we said 100% of your employees need to pass a criminal background check in order to be able to work in your institution. What these kinds of compliance-based accountabilities all have in common is that compliance doesn't have anything to do with effectiveness. And it's why these systems feel so odd to us when we try to substitute compliance for effectiveness. They're not the same thing at all. Just because we work in schools where everyone passed a criminal background check, that doesn't also mean that the school is a good school. It may be, it may not be, but whether everyone passed a criminal background check is not an indicator of whether the people in the school or the organization are being effective. And so the choice really comes down to this, and every school leader, every teacher, everyone in an educational organization needs to make this choice. And the choice is this: do you want to work in an accountability that's designed to help your organization become more effective, to change with the times, to innovate, to get the respect it deserves, to have full funding, to have all of the things that we would want for a vibrant, healthy organization or school? Or do you want an accountability that substitutes compliance for effectiveness and then pretends that that's somehow good for schools and students when that would be impossible? Now, as much as 4 or 5 years ago, I think most of us didn't really understand that there was a choice to be made, but there is, and you get to make it. And that, I think, is one of the exciting things about where you are in this journey. It doesn't mean that what the states are going to do will go away anytime soon. It's not going to happen. But these systems are so fundamentally different that you can run what we've come to call a benefits-based accountability environment right alongside what the states do, with their compliance-based systems. And if you do that, an interesting thing will begin to happen. And that is that the benefits-based system that tells your story can begin to eclipse the compliance-based system that doesn't. Now, we won't consider ourselves as an organization entirely successful until we fix the policy piece, and we're working hard on that. But the best way for us to get at that policy piece is for every campus and district in America to embrace this idea of a benefits-based accountability system, because to the degree they do, we'll get that much closer to having something to put in front of policymakers when they're ready. Thanks for what you do. Welcome to the journey. We're glad you're here.